light up at the sight of you, alright? Well, greetings. Come to look in on our friends. Rest assured, everyone is quite well. I've been keeping a close eye on them, and have satisfied myself that they are all in fine health. As a matter of fact, they're just about to convene in Dawn's Retreat to discuss how best to use their pent-up energy. Let's try them, shall we? Okay.
Well, my friends, now that we have all settled back into our bodies, it is time we resumed our duties in earnest. Let us speak of our plans.
Ever since the Emperor's death, it's been one unsettling rumor after another. I've a mind to pay a visit to Garlemald to ascertain the truth of the matter.
A prudent endeavor. 'Tis of the essence that we establish the full extent of the threat, not least if it should prove that Xenos doth indeed orchestrate events from the shadows. In light of which possibility, I shall accompany thee on thy mission. Be assured that thou shalt find me more a help than a hindrance. Thou requirest another to imbue thine ammunition, dost thou not?
Assuming that's settled, there's something I've been meaning to look into as well.
Welcome back, everyone!
Lise!
You're fine now, right? No more headaches or keeling over?
That's right. We're fighting fit and raring to go.
The famous Lise Hext, former scion and hero of the Alamegan resistance.
I don't believe we've met.
Really? It's so easy to assume that all Archons are acquainted. But then I suppose your fields of expertise are rather different.
Grahatir, at your service. I have read much and more about your exploits, Commander. It is a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance.
Likewise. The others told me all about you.
Do not be so sure. Words scarcely do justice to the vital role he played in our victory in the First. A more dependable comrade one would be hard-pressed to find.
Oh, right. I did glance at the report. But I'd be lying if I said I understood half of it. Well, that's a lot to take in. Just to be clear, this means we're not heading for another calamity, does it?
Shorn of their unsundered master's leadership, what Ascians remain shall struggle to see their plans to fruition. And though I would ever advise caution, I believe we may rest easy for a time.
I'll take that as a yes. Even so, I don't know what to make of this business about Hydaelyn and Zodiac being primals.
A difficult truth to bear, yes. But at last we understand the nature of our adversary. And if there are no further calamities, neither will there be rejoinings, meaning Zodiac will never regain his full strength. Even so, as the oldest and mightiest of primals, he remains a force to be feared. Though his is a power born of the desire for salvation, we have seen the havoc it may wreak. And it falls to us to ensure that it is never again brought to bear upon this star.
But tell us, Lys, to what do we owe the pleasure of your visit?
What do you mean? Isn't seeing my long-lost comrades reason enough? Alright, there was one other matter. I have a message from the Alliance, and before you ask, yes, it's about the Empire. So, after Emperor Varys' assassination, it seems his cousin Nerva made a bid for the throne. The trouble is, he wasn't the only one with designs on it, and it didn't take long for a civil war to break out. And it's not just in the provinces. Early reports say huge swathes of the Imperial capital have been reduced to rubble. The Alliance will soon convene in Alamigo to decide on a course of action, and we were hoping you'd come along.
Well, as it happens, Urianger and I were just this moment planning a little trip to Garlemald. And we should be grateful for any advice the Alliance can provide on how best to make the most of our visit.
To Alamigo, then.
Why don't you go on without me? There's something I need to look into.
Oh, forgive me. You were just telling us. What is it, if I may ask?
I want to find a way to cure the Tempered.
Of course. You think it may be possible to adapt the treatment you used to help those corrupted by the Sin Eaters?
I'm sorry, a cure for tempering? But that would change everything. Alizé, consider yourself uninvited. Go and find us this cure.
I'll do my best. I was hoping you might join me. Don't worry if not, though. I won't hold it against you if you'd rather attend a stuffy meeting. I knew you'd say yes.
I'll come too. If you don't mind, that is.
Mind? I'm sure they would be glad of your company. Pray, enjoy your time together with your hero.
No. That's not... I mean, I simply thought my knowledge might be of some use.
We shall be on our way then. Godspeed.
When I set out to save Halric, I think Gabu was always in the back of my mind, having proved that light corrupted or not lost. I'm convinced that the same must be true of the Tempered. This Similar to those crafted by the Senators, the Aether of Gabu's soul has been rendered stagnant. I thought the root cause is different, perhaps the solution is the same. It's by no means an unreasonable hypothesis, and it warrants full investigation. There's even a chance we can save Gabu. We have to try, but however much I'd like to race over to Limsa and set to work, there's no room for recklessness. Not when it is at stake, yes. I'm sure Group would remind us we still know a little less about the soul. Any number of things would go wrong if we don't exercise due caution. So before attempting a thing, we would learn all we possibly can about tampering. Which is no problem. Research into condition has long since ground to a halt. The combined work of the many scholars involved doesn't exactly amount to a wealth of knowledge. Not of the modern scholars, perhaps, but what of their ancient counterparts? I know Elegans took a more than a passing interest in the subject. And if what we seek is to be found somewhere, anywhere, it would surely be at the Aetherial Chemical Research Facility. Where they experimented on primals and their worshippers, yes? Good thinking. I've never actually been there myself, but I did read reports on SS Law, which means we'll be needing an airship. Hey, airship you say? Meet me at the northern bank of Silver Tear Lake. I've got a little surprise for you. Oh, and come prepared to travel. Gave you the Bonanza, Scion's very own airship. Built her as a company project with help from our friends at the Rising Stones. Near her for luck and prosperity. Aether, this is amazing. We'll be able to fly just about anywhere we want. Our garments were impressive enough, but to build an entire airship. I see the annals did not exaggerate the many talents of Scion's fabled coinkeeper. I will also introduce myself as your pilot, except the training didn't go quite as planned as I hoped. That's alright, because we've hired this capable fellow here instead. Linza's equipped with a full complement of mana cutters. By the way, feel free to use them to go around SS Law. But enough talk, it's time to fly. All aboard? Honestly, Sid would be jealous of the way the airship flies. Katara has outdone herself. Anyway, here we are on SS Law. The Nofos report did not do the scale of this place justice. Rahati. She surveys the surroundings with an exponent glint in his eye. This appears to be the helix, which means we stand in the Alpha Quadrant. To the east lies the Beta Quadrant, and as I believe I have my bearings, though this is my first time on SS Law, I do have familiarity with the place thanks to the records of the Crystal Tower. Unless I'm mistaken, this path leads to the Aetherite, beyond which there will be an information terminal. So just begin our search there. Oh, it's right over there. Alright, that shouldn't be too long. Here's the story. In a moment while, I searched the archives for references to tampering. Oh, there we are. Chronic corruption and overview. That sounds promising. Let us see what this report has to say. Confounded, the contents appear to have been deleted. What? No, there isn't something you can do? Not from here, I'm afraid, but it may be another copy if the report exists elsewhere. The question is where to look. It says here the report was written to someone named Owen. Is it likely that he kept the copy? Say it in a distinct possibility, assuming he was the researcher here, you'll have quarters on the Hemisphere to ascertain the details of the Hemisphere patrol. Let's return to Bonanza and avail ourselves of the mana cutters. We will need them to reach our destination. But you already have a suitable means of transport, don't you? No need to waste time accompanying us back to the airship. We'll see you at the Hemisphere. I just gotta fly across the entire map. That's fine. Snow will be able to tell us its number. I don't recall the layout. It should be somewhere in the vicinity of... Warning, evacuation orders presently in effect. Entry to Hemisphere is not permitted at this time. Evacuation? Well, again, in all likelihood the order would have been imposed during the fourth Umbral calamity, but I doubt it will be lifted in the near future. Energy level critical, returning to base for recharging. Well, surely there must be some other way to gain access force, for example. Who resorted that? I have an idea. Or do we send a surge of energy to yonder control mechanism? Should prompt the system to restart releasing the locks. As for a suitable energy source, a concentrated lightning shard might suffice. Happily, I seem to recall that they are known to form a point of stagnant Aether throughout the continent. You seem to recall. Are you honestly telling me that was in the records too? Now, a report sent to the capital mentioned that lightning aspected Aether was prone to pulling on the continent, resulting in surges that interfered with equipment. Minor detail, I grant you, but in my role as caretaker of the Crystal Tower, there was no such thing as too much elegant knowledge. But my necessity held me to feel connected to the source to home. I must have explored this facility 1,000 times in my mind. To finally stand here with the two of you, it's more exhilarating than I can, well, express. Another lightning shard, if I may. I suggest we split up and search the beta quadrant. Oh, but beware of sprites. They are wont to manifest where the Aether is stagnant. Now you're just showing off, which makes me think we should make a contest of this. The first to return here with a shard wins. What do you say? Alright. Farewell. It will be my honor to come third. Can I get lower than this? Oh, there it is. Staying higher. That was quite a show, adventurer. I expect it'll prove so enthralling that all thoughts of the prize slip my mind. Huh? Who's this? We have a very faded our little race. Congratulations, the lightning shard is yours. Who are you? Who's talking? Who are you? Show yourself at once. Forgive me, my friend. The scenery so reminded me of our first meeting, I couldn't resist. Well, the contest continues, so you better hurry back. But one last thing. Thank you for bringing me here. Here's as they had no luck, so victory is yours. Congratulations. Now then, may I have the shard? There you go. What is it that makes you so much better at finding things? What do you have that I don't? That is a question I too have asked myself on numerous occasions. I suspect we could both learn a great deal. And not only about the secrets of adventuring. Come, we should attend to our mission. Excellent, the system responded exactly as intended. Now we have access to the hemisphere. Only one obstacle remains, the security systems within. Should they be triggered, it could make life rather difficult for us. In light of this, would you pray leave the rest to me? If I am right, my royal blood should allow me to venture in without being attacked. Assuming this place works like the Crystal Tower, though, yes? But if it doesn't, you'll be on your own. I want you to promise us that you'll get out at first sign of trouble. I promise, wish me luck. Well, nothing for it. Just sit tight. Sure, this Owen was very learned, but iconic corruption. An overview sounds like a studium thesis. We all had to write one. Don't you wonder, mine was about the combat application of the Aether, and I'm not saying it's not practical. Alpha was more philosophical, of course. Poetical, dare I say it. He chose to write a lengthy discourse on our nation's duty to the world. Controversial subject, to say the least. He asserted that Charon's knowledge should rightly be used to protect all life on the star. A direct opposition of the country's chair's policy of non-intervention. Being a leading member of the firm, our father was not happy. At the time, of course, Alphino was utterly convinced of his views and would cheerfully argue to the death with anyone who saw things differently. By which I mean, the rows were long. To be fair to him, though, he's since learned to be a little more open-minded. Deep down, he still holds fast to that one belief. I would have liked to meet you today, young Alphino. For what it's worth, my thesis concerned the elegant civilization as depicted in folklore. Oh, you're back. I didn't know you attended the studium. I didn't. A thesis was required to earn my Archon's mark. My peers at the students of Battle Elysian convinced me to write one, with the promise of unfettered access to forbidden tones. I considered it no more than a means to an end at the time. I will admit, it was gratifying to have my efforts acknowledged. Good gods, an Archon's thesis. I shudder to imagine the work involved, but enough about that. Is it the fruit of your foray? Yes, Owen's archive node was waiting for me in his chamber. If a copy of his report still survived, it would be stored in this device. Shall we find out? Verifying. As a complete guest and as a member of the royal family, I am at your most humble service, your highness. It never ceases to amuse me. It is but a pity the effect will not last forever. The Unite said as much when they granted me this gift. Till such time as it fades, I shall use it gratefully. Search archive for iconic corruption. I didn't find iconic corruption and overview. The report is locked by the author. Please state password. Oh, go on there, your highness. Tell the nice code and know the password. Alright, let's see. Glory be to Alag. No? Long live Emperor Zandi. Those are incorrect. Please try again. Confound it. Come on, passwords are really short and simple, for instance. Password. The notion that password could be something so annoying would be laughable, were it not dangerously stupid. Furthermore, your conduct in the presence of His Highness is grossly inappropriate. Know your place, handmaiden. What did that king just call me? Wouldn't it be something like Wild Rose? You pass on credit, again, be warned that any further inappropriate behavior in the President's Highness will not be tolerated. That's it. If I say we dismantle it, and manually extract what we need. And now, let's not be too hasty. A single mishap and we risk losing the report altogether. I believe this may be a task for Sid and his colleagues. If anyone can coax McKenna into cooperating, it is them. Come, let us bear the note back to the Rising Stones. Tia seems eager to be bear the note away. Should probably mention that I have yet to meet Sid since waking up. Rumbles did send word to the Iron Works. It appears our friend has been filled on urgent business. Nevertheless, I assure you my proposal to seek his help is to pretext, however. Much I might look forward to seeing him again, him and everyone on. But come, let us be on our way. Alright, let's go. Look at him, all but running. How sweet. Still, it wouldn't do to keep him waiting, shall we? Wonderful news. Tyr contacted Sid on our behalf and he is on his way here as we speak. While we wait, I should like very much to hear what transpires at the Alliance Council. Would you be so kind, Krill? When a meeting was convened to discuss how best to respond to the recent events in Garlemald. According to intelligence from our Domin allies, the war of succession rages on, and the Empire remains without a leader. Amidst the chaos, the Imperial legions in the province have begun to move, independently of the motherland. Of greatest concern to us is the Ild, a legion aligned with Lord Nervia. It appears they have received substantial financial backing from House Brutus. Brutus, aren't they the ones who took Yutsu and Asahi? This bodes well. Xenos movements, meanwhile, remain shrouded in mystery. We're hoping that Tancred and Uranger will be able to shed some light on his activities when they return. At such time as they do, the Allied leaders feel it would be unwise to interfere in the conflict, and so thanks in part to the Imperial withdrawal from Gimlet, they have decided to turn their attention to the primal problem once more. Working with friendly factions among the beast tribes, they hope to reopen dialogue and explore new avenues for peace. Given the timing, I suspect they wish to put their respective houses in order ahead of a decisive clash with the Empire. Whatever their intent is, this is not a problem easily solved. The Laminsons in particular struggle in their efforts, and Alfred and Yastola have been called upon their aid. As long as we are dealing with Tempered, I'm afraid no amount of dialogue will avail us. But if we can develop treatment for tempering, then anything is possible. Which is why we must succeed. On a cheery note, why not make yourselves comfortable in Dawn's speed? I'll show Sid as soon as he arrives. Sid. Virgo's not coming to see you sooner, friend. As you may have heard, we've all had our hands full. In our defense, you are up rather early. I was under the impression you'd be slumbering a while longer. Well, I would have been, had you not fulfilled your promise. I still struggle with the idea. From where I stand, the secrets of traversing time and space seems exactly as unfathomable as they ever did. But if an alternate version of myself has already laid them bare, I dare say that frees me up to concentrate on other endeavors. Speaking of which, you want my help with something. What is it? Need help with some Allegan node. Well, a treatment for tampering. And for the next step, you need to find the password to this Allegan's report. Just so, with a clue to guide us, we could be here forever and still not guess correctly, and thus we turn to you. Well, let's say that we could help you, so I will. Once we configured a Magitech terminal, should make short work of identifying the password. Knew I could rely on you, now anticipating that it might be of use. I took the liberty of borrowing a tombstone from Rambros. It contains an Allegan dictionary. Good thinking. I'll transfer the information to a terminal and set it to work right away. Looks like it's finished. Let's see. Freedom. The password is freedom. Short and simple, just as I said. Would you care to do the honors, Your Highness? I would, my lady. Open the report entitled Iconic Corruption, an overview. Password, freedom. Password accepted, opening report. This report seeks to provide an overview of the mechanism by which Aecons corrupt and bind men to their will. The phenomenon we call corruption refers to the alteration of Aether, of the soul. It said an Aether ordinarily exists in equilibrium, no one element being more prominent than the other. When a subject is exposed to the Aether of an Aecon, this changes their soul, taking on the properties of the entity in question. By way of an example, the Aether of the fiend Zephyroth would cause the subject's Aether to become aligned with the element of earth. As a consequence, the subject would attain heightened affinity with earth-aspected magics, as well as preternatural levels of endurance. Repeated exposure would further enhance these traits, ultimately altering the subject's very flesh. The changes undergone by the subjects are not solely attributable to elemental element, however. Further testing has driven that the subject's souls becomes rarely charged or stagnant during the process. The stagnation of the soul has the effect of diluting the sense of self, rendering the subject vulnerable to the will of the Aecon, thoughts of whom come to consume their entire existence. This matter, do the corrupted become worshippers of the Aecon, prayers serving to further empower the entity? Having to discern the mechanisms of Aeconic corruption, my colleagues and I set out to develop a material capable of shielding one from its effects, an endeavor in which we were successful, albeit at a great cost. In the course of testing, many of my assistants all fell victim to corruption, and in accordance with protocol, they were summarily put to death. I subsequently submitted a proposal to investigate potential cures for corruption, but was rejected, deemed non-essential by Lord Amon. Though I knew it would be fruitless, I protested the decision, and for my pertinence, have been stripped of rank and title, and will shortly be expelled from this facility. In all likelihood, this report will be expunged from the archives. Nonetheless, I record it in hope that one day someone will undertake to do that which I could not, and find a cure for the victims of Aeconic corruption. End recording. So not even Alligans were able to find a cure. Or rather, were not given the chance to do so. One cannot help but wonder what motivated Lord Amon's decision. More importantly, it is confirmed that the stagnation of the soul is indeed a problem, and Angelo can remedy that. True, yet, were we simply to reanimate the tempered soul, I feared it would do naught to diminish the individual's fanatical faith. Indeed, it may well intensify it. We would somehow need to suppress the primal's hold over a subject at the same time, or risk them ever remaining its thrall. If we could only make them remember who they were. But of course, memory transference. The process has the effect of compartmentalizing memories, separating them into manageable bundles, if you will. Adapting technique, it may be possible to achieve selective reanimation, that is, limit the effect to only those memories that existed prior to tampering. Though thus restoring the sense of self, you could theoretically drown out the incitements of false faith, which had come to dominate the individual's thoughts. See, the piercing sound. Our experience treating the light corrupted would help us to identify suitable memories for reanimation. Are you confident you can adapt memory transference as required? I seem to recall your attempts to do so, while trying to bring us home culminating in literal bloodletting. Did. You are right. Despite my best efforts, I could not recreate a mechanism, and I concede that the rather clumsy compromise I reached would not provide the basis for a cure. Perhaps it's better that we consider another approach. Doubts are understandable, but this time I believe we have a reason to be confident. See, nodes such as this were built with the ability to simulate magics. Which leads me to believe that it may be capable of performing simulations of transference technique. If so, we would be able to conduct years' worth of tests within the space of a few days. In theory, it would be no different from how we identify the password. But it'll take more calculating power, a lot more, and I honestly couldn't say whether our equipment would be up to the task. Tell me, Sid, why do you suppose Owen locked his report behind a password? To keep it from prying eyes, of course, where else? Wait, a password that could be guessed by anyone with leisure in a dictionary wouldn't keep it from a person minded to look. No, he wanted his report to be seen by those who strive for freedom. Not unlike the members of a certain distinguished engineering collective. I believe their motto was freedom through technology, or some such. You two, round up as many magic terminals as you can. Find and bring them to the workshop. Right away, Chief. Things are about to get busy. Luckily, we have you to help, eh? While Gertie and I confer the terminals, I want the rest of you to procure supplies. Namely cerulean fuel, the terminals, and ice shards to keep them cool. The more we have, both the better. The ice shards to me, I'll round up some adventures and go on a gathering spree. Let's move out to cerulean. Here's a promissory note for each of you. Take them to Sky Steel Manufactory, Finish Gardens, cerulean processing plant in Tenalan. The people there will give you what we need. Based on the Holy See, I believe. If that's all just to you, I'll head to Tenalan. What is this? Ascending to Imperium. I've never done this before. Wait, what the heck is the Imperium? Huh, I've been waiting for your return. Okay. You see, after you helped bring an end to the Dragonstone War, we have striven to rebuild the city. Thanks to the assistance of countless craftsmen, our efforts to restore the firmament to its former glory are finally complete. In fact, House Jezamel assembled a team of masons so skilled and efficient that they were able to finish the construction of an entirely new quarter. Its name is the Imperium. It was created to serve as a residential district for adventurers from across the realm. No amount of description can truly convey its splendor, so I've asked Tomlin to escort you there, that you might see for yourself. Seek him out in a broom when you have a moment. And there's a new residential quarter created by the broom. Let's go check the broom then. Been a long time since we've been to Ishgard. Talk to this person here, right? Hello, Tomlin. Where's the firmament? What the heck is that? The firmament. Yeah, I'm the savior of Ishgard. Construction project? I guess I can help with the construction. I think that fabled hero such as you would help rebuild your city. We're grateful beyond words. So just one trifling matter. Do you perchance possess a work permit? Nope. So as I recall, you're a ward of House Fortemps, in which case perhaps an exception can be made. I also don't have the authority to make such a decision. Well, I do believe the permit can be overlooked in her case. Lord Overseer, that you should grace us again. Here you are, my friend. It's been quite a while indeed. I shouldn't be surprised if you have forgotten me. Friendcell, of course I haven't forgotten you. Who are you again? Remember me? Much more has happened since we first met, not least Full Wars, the end of Ishgard's transformation. It was like an age ago that you and Lord Hausfort had saved me from a heretic's fate. Had proven your worth to me. Even so, little did I expect that you would go on to save our entire nation. You're a hero to us all. No amount of words could express my gratitude. Not only true action could begin to repay my debt. Just did I resolve to do my part for Ishgard. Might honor those noble souls who risked their life and limb to protect the nation. And so, when an overseer was being sought for the restoration project, I put my fourth candidacy as the representative of my house. Our workshops and engineer could be put to good use, I reasoned. I was by no means unanimous, but the furry saw fit to see me elected to that office. Honored am I for this opportunity to serve the nation and to redeem House Halenart's good name. Owing to the contribution of artisans hailing from far and wide, we have accomplished our goal of rebuilding the district. However, we are still short-handed in the area of administration, on account of which I have been performing such odd tasks as I could. Which is what brings me here today, as a matter of fact. Let's just serve our citizens in order to learn what the invention of the firmament. Spare a moment, might I have the pleasure of your company? Without further ado then, let us take ourselves to the Jeweled Crozier. Not to find a diverse assortment of people there. Okay. I guess I'll be right back. Well, I come here to get supplies for the launch, and what should I find but a familiar face? And if it ain't that pretty lad you've got with you, and a highborn one besides, you've done well for yourself. You know me, and I always aim high. You know me, and I always aim high. Well, I'm teasing, this is not all. Hey Ron, it's good to see you. What brings you here? Your reputation precedes you. As you may be aware, approval was recently passed for restoration of the firmament, or to build a district that best serves its residents. You would know what good citizens such as yourself envision for it. Will you not share with us your thoughts? Oh, so you're the one, the appointed overseer. Well then, you won't mind if I speak freely. Now this ain't hardly revolutionary, but I want the firmament to be a place we can all make an honest living. Works hard enough, he can have a roof over his head and food in his belly. I might be as if war's over, but for a lot of us, the struggle continues, same as before. What sort of struggle blue bloods will never know. Remember, Ishgard don't belong only to the high and holy now. The nation's to prosper, all of her citizens needs to prosper. Well, we must be getting on, but if you've needs of guards, feel free to send word. If the coin's fair, I reckon we can come to an arrangement. That there is Lord Brandian. I had heard that he was traveling the realm in his capacity as a council inspector, but it appears he has returned to Ishgard. Like your good self, he is a well-traveled individual, and I would like to inquire after his opinion. Do you suppose we could beg a moment of his time? Maybe. We meet again, Inspector. Well, if it isn't Patios, I don't expect to see you here busy as you have supposedly been of late. Lord Brandian, a pleasure to make your acquaintance. I am Francois of the Halenart, and I have the honor of overseeing the reconstruction of the firmament. It is known that you are intimately familiar with the cities and states of Yorza. I shall be much obliged for your insight and your expert opinion. What is the one thing you believe the firmament needs most? If the district is to thrive, then it must have a thriving economy. As I have often observed in my travels, the flow of goods and people as lifeblood to a city should be encouraged. Ishgard has a long hidden cellar, but a recent change present great opportunity given the right planning. I be the very best in your endeavors, and should you have need of my investigative prowess, do not hesitate to call upon me by your leave. On another matter, how fares your dim-witted friend, still living a charmed life, put out? Somehow managing to solve cases despite his mumbling? Surely let's not speak of the imbecile. I feel my intellect draining away to simply think about him. Hildebrand is doing great, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Hildebrand is doing great. Oh, it's Lord Emmeline. Oh, there, I thought a district damsel was crying out for comfort mine arms. You surely know how to get a man's hopes. And if it isn't my dear Lord Franzel, how fares your lovely sister? Has she perchance spoken of me late? When it has spoken to you of you, I fear it has not been in our conversation. If you may change the subject, Lord Merlin, you will have heard that the restoration of firmness comes immense. Is there aught that you had ventured for the district? Why, ventured? I can't say to give it much thought. Well, with the war finally over, what is in order to festivities? Yes, make the firmament into a festive place. I say a place where one and all may engage in revelry. Pardon me, my lord, but I believe Lord Franzel seeks something more specific. Dare say constructive? No, the advice comes from my heart, and I shall take it to heart. You have my gratitude. Always a pleasure. Take care. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Sure. Oh, Franzel, do send my fondest regards. Yes, that's good. Oh my god. Well, I dare say we have spoken with enough people. Shall we conclude the surveying review that what we learned? Thanks to your presence, we were able to diverse variety of opinions. Each one has merit. The question is whether division can be made a reality. But sir, we must have faith in my earnest best. Stock affirmative, you haven't seen it, have you? Would you care to inspect it with me? Sure. Alright. I'll go inspect it with you. I could easily hand it to him, be sure, but it would be more warming coming from the savior of Ishgard. I will go ahead, see you at the firmament, my friend. Back. Will you be heading to the firmament? Yeah, here we go. From Lord Overseer, you say? He truly is so kind. Began working for Lord Franzel. I had taught as a highborn. As I assumed, they taught of us commoners, but my lord not only treats everyone as equals, he still shows kindness to everyone. To receive this gift from the hands of the savior of Ishgard herself, I am touched beyond words. Thank you, my lady. I shall enjoy the wine when I find a quiet moment. Now then, I believe Lord Franzel is expecting you to permit. Just say the word and I will show you true. Is this a quest? This is a quest. Oh my gosh, so many quests to do. Franzel. There you are. I bid you welcome to the firmament. As you can see, the rebuilding itself is complete. This is not the beginning, but the beginning, however, and we must not turn our attention to the running of the district. We have much more to do, but speaking to the people of Estoke, the fire is my determination. I want to make the firmament into a vibrant, thriving district where highborn, lowborn alike we live side by side in harmony. Lying if I say the task. Have I come at a bad time? Count Edmund. Edmund de Fortemps. To what do we owe the honor, sword? Fortemps. Lest you forget, I am Count de Fortemps no more. I am just a retired old man. As for my presence here, Mendelane reported the Pat was in Ishgard. I thought you would make it a social call. You will forgive me for eavesdropping, but it seems my reconstruction project is not immune to the uncertainty that has accompanied our nation's transition into a republic. Pat, yes, I have been given to understand that the other nations have established residential districts for adventure use. Is this true? Yes, I actually have a house in one. Yeah, I have a house in one. There are districts specifically for adventure use, and you possess an abode in one such a place? I should like to pay you a visit one day, my friend. Truth is, our nation is divided by a gulf. While the redistribution of wealth may go some ways towards closing this gulf, it shall not lead to the true independence of the masses. We must ask ourselves, in this new age in which we live, what role should each one of us play? In pondering this dilemma, I believe that we may draw inspiration from adventurers and their independent lives. Independent lives. If we were to translate this into the firmament, might I not assume the form of self-administration? It seems you have found a spark, in which case, this old man's rambling have served a purpose. I shall pray for your success, Lord Francel. Your words are a beacon in my dark, my lord. Thank you. Oh, Penitus, you seem to be occupied at present, so I will leave you to your task, but when the next we meet, I hope to be regaled with your recent adventures. As ever, our Fortemps Manor is at your disposal should you need a rest. Can I go to the new housing district now, please? You done talking, Francel? Because I am itching to meet your hero friend. Yes, forgive me for the wait. Let me introduce to you Hodgebird, formerly an engineer of our house. He now serves as the project's chief foreman. It's thanks to his leadership on site that I am able to focus my energies on the administrative process of the reconstruction. Pretzel's told me all about you. First, you have the whole bleeding nation, now yours, helping us rebuild it, brick to brick. What can I say except it's great to have you on board. If you have any questions about the work, I'd be happy to field them. Just save the tedious stuff like the budget to Francel, eh? Speaking of which, if you can spare another moment, my friend, I should like to consult you on some administrative matters. With all the little tasks demanding on my time, I cannot always be present on site, but I endeavor to visit as often as possible. And I hope to see you often too. Alright. 2. Complete. So we unlock the firmament, whatever this is. Looks like a cool place. You now have access to the firmament. An option has been added to teleport here from the Foundation Aetherite. Speak with Ogbert to learn about how you may contribute to reconstruction effort. Okay, so this is like a reconstruction place where you can like reconstruct houses and stuff. That looks pretty cool. If you're gonna lend us a hand, little explanation in order. First thing I want to talk about is the Sky Builder's board. Sky Builder? What the heck is a Sky Builder? It sounds like we try to keep a record of our progress to date, that it might guide us going forward. Now then, let's talk about the work itself. The main thing we need artisans to do is provide us with supplies. On that topic, I reckon it's quicker if you speak with Putkin over there. Run along, introduce yourself. Where the heck? Putkin over there? Oh, alright. You've graced us with your presence once more. Perchance you have an interest in the Imperium? If so, no more. I shall escort you there myself. Fear not, the Herald will surely be happy to answer any question you have. And proceed the Imperium, yes. I want to enter that new housing district. Kinda want to see how the housing district looks. It's the new housing district that was added with Endwalker, right? Speak with Highmorn Herald. Over here. Welcome to Imperium. As our restoration efforts progressed, they eventually expanded to include the construction of this little taste of heavens on Earth. We're indebted to countless adventurers such as yourself who helped bring about an end to the Dragonsong War. And as thanks, we wish to provide a space for you to call home here in Ishgard. Of course, we will still require a nominal fee for any plot of land or apartments you purchase. We know that your guild will help us rebuild. If you would like to hear more, please speak with the resident caretaker for further assistance. Oh. Oh my god, there's so many empty plot of lands here. Seems like there's not a lot of people that are started moving here. How much does it cost to buy a house? Land sales will commence. Okay, okay, land sales did not start yet. Okay, I see. Okay, so this shows like where the house would be. That's cool. What about this one? Oh, that's a big one. That's a big house. Alright. That's a land for a big house. Well, this housing district looks like it's going to be pretty fun. Can't wait for the housing district to be open. Well, let's go back to the main quest now. What did you think of the Imperium? I do hope it was to your liking. Given that our borders were closed for so long, I worried the outsiders such as yourself might not take interest in this new district. But know that this is our sincere wish that you and other noble souls will consider making Ishgard your new home. I think I'm good in Limsa Laminsa. No wait, where's my house again? I think it's the Goblet, right? I forgot where the house is. District, Aether for Imperium can be accessed through Ishgard. Yep. Good. I have to go to the Sky Steel Manufactory. You stand in Sky Steel Manufactory. What is your required? So you're after ceruleum. In that case, please present a note to your engineer at the airship landing. We shall be glad to assist you. Okay, I have to go to the airship landing. Okay, is there an internet here somewhere? Ceruleum, you've caught the right man. Fair warning, though. The price is shot up on account of the uncertainty with the Empire, so I hope you've got the coin. Let's see, how many coins? I just got a 1.3 million? Yeah, it should be good. Promising move from the ironworks. Don't see any of these. Well, that's a problem. It's good. That's gold to me.
My friend! After the disappointment of not seeing you in Alamigo, what good fortune to chance upon you here of all places. As you may have heard, the Allied nations are making a renewed effort to address the primal problem. To that end, have I invited the chieftain of the Vanu to Ishgard, that we might together plot a course. Since the war with the Empire appears to be nearing its conclusion, I would also like to call upon Estinian's lance. Alas, he is, as ever, a difficult man to find. I am informed he recently paid a visit to the Rising Stones. Should he happen to do so again, be sure to pass on my regards, won't you? But tell me, what business brings you to our fair city this day? A cure for tempering. You never cease to amaze me. Until now, our only hope has been prevention, our every failure irrevocable. But this would rewrite the rules of engagement. It could end the cycle of bloodshed. Very well. You shall have all the ceruleum we can provide, and an airship with which to transport it. In this matter, you may count on Ishgard's full support.
Who would have thought ceruleum weighed so much? Serves me right for being stubborn, I suppose. I should have just done what you did and accepted help.
Calm down, Alisaie. Everything's good.
Good work, you two. This is all we asked for and more. Quite a lot more now that I look at it. Lord Emmerich, eh? And entirely by chance. Ha! Some people have all the luck.
We have also succeeded in configuring the terminals, thanks in no small part to our able assistant.
It's been a while, hero. You seem surprised to see me. Lest you misunderstand, I've no interest in such things as cures for tempering.
Oh my god, fucking Nero is now actually part of the main story quest again. Yes! Freaking Nero.
But if you mean to achieve that which eluded even the storied Allegans, it seemed plain that you would require my expertise. And so it proved. Is that not right, Garland?
For all the effort it took to track you down after your latest disappearing act, you could find the cure for death, and it wouldn't be worth the trouble.
That wasn't the only reason I agreed to cooperate. I'm reliably informed that Garland and I are destined to unravel the secrets of travel not only across dimensions, but through time. Doubtless the lion's share of the credit lies with me. 9 parts to Garland's 1. And this research will be a stepping stone to that illustrious achievement.
Very well then. I'll do 1/10 of the work. Just the part that's beyond you.
Whatever you say, Garland.
Right. If everyone's ready, let's begin. All appears to be in order. Now, we just have to wait for it to find us our magic. Why not take this opportunity to put your feet up? This may take a while.
Alright, so he wants me to do other things while he works on testing, alright. Oh, I'm just resting. Yay, this is a long cutscene.
It's overloading.
She won't last much longer!
We'll have to shut it down.
Wait! We're close! So very close!
Oh.
Well, this is going swimmingly.
Please, a moment longer. I beg you. There. I was able to memorize the magic before it faded. It still needs to be put to the proof, but I believe we have our cure.
Damn, you have a freaking good memory. I would not be able to memorize an entire freaking giant... How the heck would you expect me to memorize that in 2 seconds?
She'll never run again.
That's fine, Wedge. Greyhead Tia already memorized everything.
The fault is mine. I'm sorry.
It's okay. If you memorized everything already, everything's good.
Don't be. It may fall short of dimension hopping, but a cure for tempering is not to be sniffed at. This, my friend, is a world-changing discovery. One we're proud to have had a hand in. A few Magitech terminals are a pittance to pay.
Thank you.
Well, we've done what we can. The rest is up to you.
Let's talk to the Resistance officer. Ruby Doomsday. The Resistance and Alliance forces prepare in earnest as a new threat looms on the horizon. Glad you could make it. You may have heard Commander Alden has been given orders to embark from Alliance headquarters to hold back to advance the Empire's latest menace. None of the soldiers stationed are too chuffed about being on the front lines against these new weapons. If they're designed to slay primals, they'll make short work of us, mere mortals as well. Mind you, it's Gaius Balsar and his followers who've led the charge so far. By all accounts, they've been giving us as good as they got. Unfortunately, their sorties have met with little success. I dare say, they've been a bit greatly from your presence on the battlefield. If you're ready, my colleague over at Porta Praetoria will show you the way. On your way to headquarters, I take it? Accompany the Resistance Fighter Alliance? Yes. So, your mind is set, and I shall apprise you of the situation. We had discovered that a previously abandoned Ultima weapon project is being helmed by the reformed 7th Legion. We have already succeeded in producing several prototypes, one which is set to be deployed on the Orison front, its name, Ruby Weapon. Several and I were able to get within striking distance during one of its test runs, made an attempt to destroy it. Attempt that ended in failure, alas. Based on our knowledge of the original Ultima weapon, the explosives we employed should have been sufficient to blast through its armor plating, but that barely left a tang mark. But we suspect the gifts of its predecessor may have proven the source of its resilience. As you all know, the Ultima weapon was designed to absorb Aether from Acons, and the Ruby weapon no doubt shares that ability. If any were summoned during the uprisings in Garlemont's occupied territories, and thereafter consumed our enemy, would become all the more formidable. But its near impenetrable armor was only the beginning of our troubles. It fought back with whip-like claws that can be extended and contracted at will. In the face of such opposition, we were forced to withdraw. Gaius was injured, shielding me from Ruby Weapon's assault. Even now, he struggles to stand. Damn it all. If I hadn't been so careless, this wouldn't have happened. You need not concern yourself. Let's not forget that I am the one who initiated the Ultima project. If I must give my life to bury this shameful legacy, then so be it. If you were to face it, you are now, you'd be cut down before you even hobbled within fighting distance. In case we can't afford to lose the information in your head, on both the foe and the face and the Empire itself. We all know that asking the Hero of Light, the Warrior of Light assistance presents our best chance of stopping the war machina. It's true, if anyone were capable of putting down such monstrosity, it would be her. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I can take it down, don't worry. Do I have no right to ask this of you? Will you lend us your strength? Sounds easy enough. I'm not one to back down from a fight. You have my tanks. Mind, though I must impress upon you the urgency of our situation. I have received word of the Empire is preparing to advance on Gimlet Dark. That is where we will intercept them. If our fears are proven correct, the ruby weapon will be among their hosts. Should it break through our lines, there's no telling the devastation it will wreak. Make no mistake, the very survival of Urza hangs in the balance. Once you have steeled yourself of the battle ahead, your escort will lead the way. What price must the world pay for my hubris? A short while earlier, Garlean occupies the city of Werlet's Magitech installation. What the heck is happening? Oh, am I gonna have to fight that thing? Commencing Ruby activation sequence. All units stand by. This thing looks sick. Wait, is this a freaking mech? Are they making like a freaking Gundam in there? Ruby weapon codenamed Darkness, ready for launch. Yeah, this is a Gundam. It's like a freaking monster version of a Gundam. Okay. Has briefed me on our mission. I'm to take you as far as our expected point of contact with Ruby Weapon. Once we arrive, the rest is up to you, I'm afraid. Cinder Drift now accessible. Okay. So this is gonna be a raid, isn't it? Right? Oh yeah, Duty Finder. Cinder Drift. Oh yeah, it is a raid. Okay. It's a raid. Let's do Cinder Drift now. Already, right? First. the heck is my... Where's my language in freaking Japanese? I don't want to type in Japanese, I want to type in English. Oh shit, right here. What is this? Oh no, what is this? Okay, I did not know what the heck that was. Up there. I had no idea what that ability was. This is what happens when you join the fighting when you like the first time. easy enough. Outside of his stupid quicksand attack. Outside of the stupid quicksand attack that you don't know what it is in the first time you get there. It was pretty simple. God, it's evolving. It's evolving. Wait, is the fight over or is there a second form? Male Van Darnus. Wait, no. Male Van Darnus is dead. Their perfect fight is Forsaken Land. Oh god, it hurt. It's not over. Okay, there's a second fight. I thought it was over. Look at that persona. What is that? Thank you for protecting me. Now is it dead for real now? Doesn't have a third form? No? Okay, good. That was a fun boss. Yeah, that was a pretty fun boss. Hi, Gaius. Even from afar, your figure was unmistakable. As ever, an impressive display. Well, as sure as I am sure, you will concur the Ultima weapon pales in comparison to this new monstrosity. If their research is allowed to continue, the next model will be nigh unstoppable. With that in mind, the Alliance has enlisted the help of... Wait, I hear something. Who are you? Here to shift through what remains of Ruby Whipping, are you? Allie, what do you think you're doing? Allie? Father. It has been too long, Alphonse, and you too, Rex. Given the Empire is proceeding with the weapon project and making inroads to ours, I suppose it was only a matter of time until our paths crossed. It's wonderful to see you again, Father, although I can't say I think much of the company you've been keeping. I know a lot's happened, but I'm just glad you're alright, and now you can come back to Garlemald with us. My days serving the Empire are over. Because you're suspected of assassinating Emperor Varys? But we know you'll never do a thing like that. There must be a way to prove your innocence. Then everything can go back the way it was. Sorry. He found you two shivering on the roadside when he was going through Wardlick. Lucky for you, hey? If you hadn't, we'd probably be dead by now. As for us three, our parents all died in the epidemic. Still be begging on street corners if it weren't for him. In the epidemic, okay? I just wish there was a way we could repay Lord Gaius for all the kindness he's shown us. He fights for the Empire, so we should too. That'll make him proud. You're saying we should join the army. I don't think that's such a good idea. Everyone in Werlit was scared of the Garleans. Why would we want to be like them? Lord Gaius is different. I know he is. You're right, he always says that the strong should lead the weak. Maybe that's why he took us in. Alright, if becoming a soldier is what it takes, I'll do it. Who's with me? Count me in. Maybe one day people will look up to us like we do Lord Gaius. Then it's settled. From now on, we're all brothers and sisters, fighting for the same cause. Brothers and sisters? Then what would make Lord Gaius our father? Well, if he doesn't mind us calling him that, I suppose. And that makes our big brother. Since you're the oldest, you'd be better nice to us. I'm telling father. Since you went away, a lot has changed in Empire, for us too. If we'd known that you were still out there, still alive, none of this would have happened. What do you mean? The truth is, if you must go, I will not stop you. But answer me this. Who was piloting the ruby weapon? We all know that Nail Van Darnus has not returned from the dead. Who do you think? Oh no, don't tell me it was Alfonso. It was... oh no, it was Melisandre. Just now we killed one of Gaius's kids. Oh boy. Oh boy. No. No. I refuse to believe that. Oh boy, this is getting sad, isn't it? I refuse to believe you. I refuse to believe you would let that happen. She was a sister to you, to all of you. We only want to finish what you started. And while we will never forget all you have done for us, the next time we meet, it shall be as enemies. Goodbye, Father. Now Gaius is killing his own children. Great. As for you, hero of Eorzea, you'll pay for what you did to Melisandre, I swear it. Hey, you guys are trying to destroy an entire country. Well, Gaius Van Balsar, we meet again. Come to see how precious weapon project has been proceeding in your absence, have you? You're come to collect data on Ruby weapon, correct? The pilot, Melisandre, should still be inside the cockpit. I will ask Valderlin to escort you to wreckage. Any idea who this Melisandre is? An imperial crony of his, perhaps? It's his daughter. Ooh. Gaius always did have an eye for talent and mind to nurture it. In fact, Livia Sass Junius was another protege of his. He even took me under his wing when my father became obsessed with the meter project. It's strange that I felt closer to Gaius than my own flesh and blood. Then my father, countless others lost their lives in the Baja incident. Although he was acting under Emperor Solus's order, he masterminded the whole thing. I begged him to reconsider, to put an end to this madness, but my words fell on deaf ears. That's when I turned to Gaius for support, but he was as much a pawn of the Emperor as my father, and he refused to intervene, and when my turn came to serve, I defected and fled to Eorzea. I blame Gaius as much as any of them, perhaps even more for the barbaric acts carried out in the name of conquest. But when we met at the Praetorium, all the hatred that had been festering inside seemed to fade away, and I remembered the man I once respected. To think the dreaded Black Wolf was a mere plaything of the Ashes who left him broke and disgraced. Having sent thousands of his men to early graves, it's more than most could bear. And now the lives of the children he raised hang in the balance. Yes, the lives of the children he raised. Yep. That's who we gotta kill, I guess. Any personal grievances I have with Gaius can wait. I'd best gather what information I can on the ruby weapon, but I'll be back as soon as possible. Oh boy, I love these stories between the raids. Between the different trials and raids, the stories are freaking... Oh boy. If Sid is as I remember him, it will not take long for him to finish investigating the remains of the ruby weapon. He never was one to waste time. Engineers are still in the field, but there's something I thought you should know right away. It's about the pilot. I'm not sure how to tell you this, but... If Milden Cynthia is dead, I only hope she was not made to suffer. Death would have been kindness in all my years. I've never seen such a pervert of science and nature. Okay, so she's not dead? What? Her body was fused with the weapon's core. Those last moments must have been spent in pure agony, as her life essence was drained from her. Why are you telling this to Gaius? So she was sacrificed to power that infernal machine. We must act quickly if we are to prevent the Empire from committing further atrocities. Is there any information you can share with us regarding the ruby weapon prior to its deactivation? Nell Vandarnis. Did the legates mean that much to Melisandre? From what I gather, it sounds as if its data based on Nail's combat abilities was used to override the pilot's consciousness after she was fused with the core. If this technology is perfected and the Empire begins implementing memories of renowned warriors, such as the White Raven, into its soldiers, the Alliance won't stand a chance. Is such a thing even possible? Similar method was used on the prototype Estinian fought, was it not? Friend did mention he overheard that significantly loading various sets of data into the test model during the battle. It would appear that this system has been improved since then. While it may bear some similarities, we won't know for certain until we've analyzed the wreckage. It cannot be denied that combining combat data from an experienced soldier with the powers of an Akon has yielded remarkable results. But in doing so, the Empire has sunk to the very depths of depravity. This is beyond forgiveness. For once I agree with you, yet one question remains unanswered. How were they able to obtain data on someone who was supposedly killed prior to the calamity? That's what I'm trying to determine. There's one possibility I'd like to explore, but I'll need to carry out a more thorough investigation. Several will provide support while you are in the field. Not only is she extremely well versed in the latest in Garlean technology, there are a few soldiers I would rather have watching my back. the meantime, Veldalin and I will follow the Ruby Weapon's track back to its point of origin. We will learn what we can of the weapon project and manner in which Alphonse and the others are involved. Should we uncover anything of value, we will relay it to the troops stationed here. For now, I suggest you use this lull in Garlean activity to recuperate. Would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darling of yours, would I be correct in guessing that this belated reunion with those darlings of yours has stirred up memories of your time in Garlemald? Remember our agreement, Gaius. If you so much think of returning to your imperial masters, I will kill you. Oh, this is getting good. Oh my god, how could I disable? Okay. Okay, there we go. I figured out how my keyboard settings work now. Okay. Okay, so that's how. Okay, never mind. Okay, okay. Ah, okay. Okay, that's how I do my Japanese characters then. Okay. Let's just disable the Japanese keyboard. It's what, window key space, right? There we go. Now I can talk. Now I can talk back in English. Okay, there we go. Now my English keyboard works. Perfect. Let's talk to our assistance officer. So you put down a ruby weapon. Gods, I wish I would have seen it. Not from too close mind. I suppose I should report news of your victory to the higher-ups. I realize you must have been through quite the ordeal, but could you give me a quick summary of the battle? You make it sound so easy. From the way you tell it, anyone would think slay hulking brutes like that for a living. I'll put all of this into a report, and leave a copy over there, should you fancy a bit of light reading. Anyway, I expect you've got more pressing matters to take care of. I'm going for celebratory pint. If the Garlands pluck up the courage to come knocking again, I'll let you know. We should have told him the truth. He'd be able to help us. I know he would. That's exactly the problem, Allie. If he knew the true nature of the weapon project, he'd find some way to interfere. We've gone too far to back down now. I won't let Melisandre's death be in vain. Even if that means going against father's wishes. Cheer up, Alphonse. We can all go back to being one big happy family after we dealt with those pesky orisons. We'll just be like old times. If only it were that simple. There's no guarantee any of us will make it back alive. Excuse me, I think you're forgetting whose turn it is next. Oh yes, of little faith, with me at the helm of the sapphire weapon. It'll be over before you know it. Whatever happens, Rex, promise you'll come back to us. I couldn't bear to lose you. Information related to the weapon. Yep. I'm afraid we haven't much in the way of information to share from the front line. We have, however, received word from Gaius, who wished to speak with you at the Alliance headquarters. Arrange an escort to take you to headquarters. We're ready to depart. Speak with the fellow over there. Ready to head out. Good, you're here. The Ironworks have completed their analysis of the robot weapon, and Sid Garlon wishes to share his findings. I take it you can spare a few moments? Greywood, please wait here while I inform him of your arrival. Glad you could make it. I'm sure you're as anxious as anyone to hear what we've uncovered. Our early hypotheses were proven correct. The Garlands have designed a system where a pilot can forcibly supplement with data based on the memories, experience of another. So even a rank amateur could obtain the combat capabilities of a seasoned warrior. Precisely, and we learned how this was made possible when we opened the cockpit. The monitors were still operational, and among the messages displayed one particular phrase caught my attention: synthetic orosite system. Which is what exactly? Well, the core of the Ultima weapon was referred to as the Heart of Sabak by the Ashes. We believe it to have been a type of orosite. I can't say much for the synthetic sort at this stage, but I've encountered real orosite before. It was extremely potent, perhaps equal in the power of the Heart of Sabak. It's unclear whether the Garlean's simulacrum possess the same properties as genuine orosite, but I tend to follow this avenue to see where it leads. Do know is that it was used to implement the combat data of Nail von Darnus into the cockpit, the pilot, who has been presumed dead. Are you any closer to discovering how they were able to retrieve the data? The link didn't occur to Gaius at first, but he later told me of devices fitted to magic tech armor of the Empire's high-ranking officers. There's a reason to believe they were designed to emulate the soul crystals used throughout Uriza. Yes, that was rumored to be its true purpose, but it was never publicly acknowledged. Perhaps those in the upper echelons of command wanted to avoid comparisons to the so-called savages they were meant to be conquering. There's also the questions of whether the system even functions as intended. From what we've seen, we can assume they were successful in gathering combat data of those wearing armor equipped with the device. If the comparison of soul crystal is valid, perhaps this data was transferred via Aether. Or it seems that it is extracted not only memories relating to combat, but a soldier's very essence. As you saw, the pilot succumb entirely to the will of Van Darnus. If this was merely supposition, it's possible that being fused with the ruby weapon accelerated the process and caused the deceased Legatus to manifest in corporeal form. It could be that the death of the pilot was caused by the system malfunctioning. It's hard to say. The weapon itself was still largely intact when it deactivated, which strongly implies that it was this synthetic orosite running that killed her, rather than the damage incurred during the battle. But even after analysis, I'm afraid we still don't have enough information for now. Perhaps we should consult Gaius. Volodin has come bearing vital information. I traced a weapon back path to the occupied territory of Verlet, which appears to be where it was built. And where is Verlet? While Amigo is placed on the western edge of Gimlet, Verlet lies on the opposite side to the east. It was once a proud and prosperous city, until it was brought to its knees by the Imperial invaders. You seem rather well informed. Perhaps I should have taken you with me. I thought that much was common knowledge. It is also where Alphonse and the others were born. And now the weapon project has brought them home. Yes, the place is now rightful from Perros. They have established an airship supply depot in the coastal town of Turncliffe. According to locals, something resembling one of the weapons was transported there a few days ago. This bodes ill indeed. Were it possible, I would attempt to capture Alphonse and his followers before they can launch an offensive. However, the distance between here and Turncliffe presents a considerable obstacle, and in all likelihood their weapon will be ready long before we arrive. Approaching by sea would allow us to save time. Ground-based troops, provided we were able to secure a vessel. Or you could use the Enterprise and take the most direct route of all, as the crow flies. In fact, this is the perfect chance to put my top secret plan into action. When I ask what that entails. It wouldn't be much of a secret if I told you now, would it? We're gonna say there's a starring role played for you. Oh, okay. Why so surprised? You'd think I'd let you get off that easily, did you? We'll be here soon, so don't go anywhere. I see Sid delights in keeping others in suspense. I can only hope he does not make us wait over long. Is that a Gundam? You made a Gundam? A freaking Gundam? Are you kidding me? Is this freaking Gundam or is this freaking Final Fantasy now? Is this Final Fantasy or is this Gundam? Sid? I don't think this is called the Gundam franchise. This is called Final Fantasy, not Gundam. A President Garland Arnold's adaptation of the Ultima weapon, the G-Warrior. You even called it the G-Warrior because you want it to be a reference to Gundam, or don't you? Oh boy. Alright, the Gundam Warrior. Alright, sure. The Gundam Warrior. I know elegant design when I see it. Excavated from one of their ruins, no doubt. Sisla, to be precise. We came across it during the course of our investigation and decided it would be a shame to let it go to waste. So you just found a Gundam in an ancient ruin. Okay. We're really taking this refitted relic to face the enemy. Perhaps my knowledge of the Ultima weapon will be of use. I'm counting on it as it happens, but first we'll need to perform a test run. simulator before turning into battle. Come, we haven't much time. Wait, am I gonna pilot the Gundam? Okay, this is epic. If I can pilot a Gundam, this is epic. Go! Oh my god, I'm piloting a Gundam. Oh my god, yes. You know what? This is the best Gundam game ever. No, oh wait, I have to hit the guidance system over here. What is this? That's to reduce damage. Okay, I can't use it right now. Interesting. Let's move on to something a bit more advanced, shall we? Are you sufficiently prepared? I'm ready. Then we shall depart. They're expecting us, but who is the pilot? Who's here? You better have your wits about you. Initiate combat mode. Ready to strike. Let's do this. Time to fry this overgrown squid. Save one for me. For research purposes, that is. Anti-icon. Can't afford to lose, it's all fighting at the activating Oversoul. I will be monitoring the station of the air. Follow instructions will eliminate the target. record has been silenced. Damaged squid never stood a chance. Now that an emission threat has been dealt with, we should gather what information we can in Turncliffe. Oh, I've never been to this city, that's cool. You did well, Topology Warrior. Set up in shorter time. With the weapon largely intact, Sid and his researchers should be able to gather a wealth of valuable information before it is dismantled. Perhaps we should take one last look upon our fallen foe. We should have known Father and his friends would track us down sooner or later. Now they're at our doorstep, and a sapphire weapon still isn't ready. Even so, we should still be able to fend off, or at least buy us some time. Not quite how I'm managing it, but this seems as good as waiting in any. Rek'Sai. Why are you still here? You're supposed to be moving the other weapons to a safe location. You can take care of that while I pallet the sapphire weapon. What are you talking about? I'm the pilot, not you. There's no need to put your life on the line. Besides, it's still incomplete. It can barely perform basic maneuvers, so it'll be practically useless in a real fight. We have a solution, Oversoul. You want to end up like Melisandre? No, of course not. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But she didn't give her life in vain. The ruby weapon left behind data that's been used to improve the system, to prevent any further malfunctions. What difference does it make? Once Oversoul's activated, the pilot fuses to the core. There's no way back. I should be able to want to pilot Sapphire weapon, not you, Rex. Alphonse needs you. You and I both know I'm the latest qualified pilot we have. There's less to lose if I don't make it back. No, I won't let you. Please, Rex, hear me out. Ever since we were children, I was the smallest, weakest, too afraid to stand up for myself. But I had the best brothers and sisters a boy could wish for. You were always there for me, protected me. Now it's my turn to protect you. Get our weapons and get out of here. See this truth at the end. Do it for me, for Melisandre. I'm counting on you, Rex. You always did have a stubborn streak. Alright, Rickon, I won't let you down. Just promise you'll wait for me on the other side. We'll meet again, brother. You all made me happier than I had any right to be, and now I've finally found my purpose. I have no regrets. on, Sapphire. We may be far from perfect, but we have a job to do. Let's give Father something to remember us by. The echo, I presume. What did it reveal to you? You're gone, my poor boy. You were braver than most could ever hope to be. It is as we feared. I'm sorry, guys. First Miss Cylinder, now Recon. We must find the remaining weapons and end this madness. Tell me, what do you make of Gaius Balsar? I understand the two of you have been acquainted since his days at the Black Wolf. He claims to have shed his pelt when he took up the hunt for ashes. He's still the same man deep down. He certainly kept quiet about having a flock of foster children back in the Empire, but it seems he would rather bear his teeth to his former masters than allow harm to come to them. Try as I might, I cannot make sense of it. Does he truly fight for good of mankind, as he would have us believe, or is he merely biding his time before he reveals his colors? Whatever the answer may be, in the end, he will always be a Garlean. And though there may be honorable men and women among them, I have suffered much more as a result of their conquests, barbaric campaigns in which Gaius Balsar played no small part. My first encounter of Garleans was 20 years ago, shortly after the fall of Alamigo. They continued their march into the lands that had long been home to the wee Duskwites. We sought to repel invaders who were woefully unprepared. Our bows and arrows were no match. And even our most powerful magic did little to slow their advance. I fought on the front line, but was knocked unconscious in the opening exchange. When I came to, I was alone. The rest of my unit slaughtered. I hurried back to the village to look, only to find the place deserted. I searched for days, then weeks and months. It seems they had disappeared without a trace. Finally, I learned from two Imperials held that bitter mill that the villagers had been captured, used as subjects for poison gas that would later be known as Black Rose. They were never seen again. For 21 years I remained aimlessly, with nothing but hatred to keep me alive. I eventually found myself at the order of the Twin Adder, who offered me a place among their ranks. The desire for revenge, only I had left, so without a moment's hesitation I accepted. Were it not for the war of Garlemald, I would have been loath to work alongside the city-dwelling Gredanians, who for so long had treated my kind as outcasts. But none of that mattered anymore. It all culminated with the Operation Archon, as you led charge into Praetorium. We were right there behind you, and when the place came crumbling down, most of us were caught in the rubble. I escaped my life, though many others were less fortunate. Having dragged myself free from the rubble, I saw the way out. It was then I encountered none other than Gaius Balsar, on the verge of death. The gods have delivered me to the man whose conquest had robbed me of everything. I was poised, ready to exact my revenge, and then he spoke. I will not beg for mercy. I will ask that you stay your hand a while longer. I cannot die until I have rid the world of the Ashen Menace. For millennia, mankind has danced their tune, but no more. Once we are finally free, my life is yours for the taking. I would have struck him down there and then, had I not sensed truth in his words, so I decided to grant him a stay of execution and join him on his hunt. All this time I've kept close to Gaius, though he is ever on the watch for pursuers. He has granted me ample opportunity to slay him, if I so choose. I still might if he shows even the slightest sign of betraying our agreement. But for now, the Ashens are my chosen quarry. If they are indeed the ones pulling the Empire's strings, then it shall not end up until they have been eradicated, every last one. Though I could not save my kin, there are those who may yet be spared the horrors. Unfortunately, dealing with the Ashens will have to wait until we have brought an end to the Garlemald's weapon project. We may have vanquished 2 of the new weapons. We must make every effort to prepare for whatever the Garlands throw at us next. Perhaps the Rurok can tell us whether Ironworks engineer has uncovered any information of note. Ironworks engineer is still at work dismantling the Sapphire weapon, investigating Turncliffe Magitech facility, though they have yet to make their report. They may have some news to share at this juncture. Please wait a moment. I've yet to finish an investigation, but I can give you a preliminary report. Were you able to recover anything of note? For abandoning the facility, they'd attempted to destroy anything they couldn't take with them. Many of their research materials, luckily some information relating to weapons combat data was intact. What we saw during the battle was extracted from Regula van Hydrus. It also appears the Sapphire weapon was actually in an incomplete state, and therefore unable to perform at full capacity. And so it was immediately powerful. Had they been given the chance to finish it before we arrived, who knows how it would have ended. Indeed, we may not be so fortunate next time, so you must prepare for the worst. The Ironworks will continue to investigate the Sapphire weapon and look into possible countermeasures. The echo affords you a glimpse into the conversation between Rico and Rex prior to weapons deployment. Do you remember any other details? Improvements were made to the synthetic oversight system to prevent malfunction. It was never their intent to create a manifestation of Nailvet darkness. But there was one thing that was intended. Oversoul. Its activation resulted in the pilot being absorbed by the core. Process Rix and Rickon were actually fully aware of this, were they not? Then the death of the pilot was by design all along. Hellfonts, how could you? Sacrificing your own siblings to fuel these accursed war machines. Surely there's no cause worth paying such a price. Aye, nothing's more precious than family. This nightmare is far from over. It appears that Rex has fled with the remaining weapons. You can assume that Alphonse has every intention of sending them into battle. Let's find a way to disable them before Oversoul can be activated. I have seen enough death. I do not wish to see more. Then there is no time to waste. Let's be about it, guys. You're in charge of here. Keep Sid and his team safe while they carry out the investigation. Understood. Please see that no harm comes to Gaius. Whilst we're gone, I need you to relay information to resistance troops. Your first-hand account should prove useful. If there are any developments, we'll be sure to contact you. Right, it sounds like you've been on quite a journey all the way to Turncliffe. You made it here in one piece, I trust everything went according to plan? Kinda. I have come to deliver my report, Lord Valens. Ah, so you return, young Alfred, or was it Alwick? It really matters, of course. I hear that you and your darling brothers and sisters have allowed the Sapphire weapon to fall into the hands of the enemy. Do tell me it isn't so. I'm afraid that is the case, Lord Valens. Oh, come on now. No need to be so sullen, as they say. To our eyes, the human forgive the divine. You know how forgiving can be when it suits me. So tell me, whatever your name is, who was able to best the Sapphire weapon? Our sources state that the one known as the Warrior of Light was assisted by Sid Garland and Gaius Van Belsart, my lord. Gaius. It seems he's been quite a troublemaker of late, defecting from Garlemald, assisting the Empire, assassinating the Emperor, and whatever next. Oh, well, there's no use crying over spilled milk. Speaking of which, I've become quite the connoisseur since arriving in Warlet. This particular variety comes from a rare breed of cow, you know, only 100 of them, pampered every day of their lives. Yes, they're quite valuable until their milk dries up. They're sent to the slaughterhouse, like all the rest, for that is their lot in life. They're discarded once they have served no purpose. I created the ruby and sapphire weapon so that you could deliver them to gift wrap to the enemy. I can see it now. Sid and Garland rubbing his hands with glee at all the technological marvels you've bestowed upon him. You let Gaius Belsar get the better of you. How did you think this reflects on me? Did like it is of the 7th Legion humiliated by that traitor. There's only one way to deal with worthless provincial filth like you. Wait for me in the correction chamber. You'd be taught lessons in obedience. Yes, my lord. Forgive my intrusion, Lord Valens. It's time for a few meeting with the head of Magitech Development. Oh, how time flies when you're wiping useless soldiers into shape. Yes. I'll be along once I've made myself presentable. Can have people thinking of let my standards slip now, can I? What are you doing here? And you wish to see me, Lord Valens? Did I now? Oh yes, that's right. So you're an ally, yes? And you join the military of your own free will, along with your fellow orphans. Such devotion. What an inspiration you are, you see. It is my firm belief that love grants us the power to move mountains to overcome any obstacle. Together we will shall discover the strength that lies within you. Take my hand, I will show you the way. Blood of Emerald. Civilization Turncliffe has led to startling revelations. It's good to see you. And please report Master Gall and the others uncovered a fair bit of useful information near the Imperial facility. Meet with Gaius in the town square, where he'll reveal what they found. Once we're ready to depart, here's where we'll lead the way. I'll continue this quest next time on Final Fantasy XIV. See you then.